everyone, Meteorologist Jordan Darensbourg here, and I hope everyone has enjoyed their Saturday so far. I mean, it just looked absolutely picture perfect outside across the entirety of Central Texas. So we're going to come on real quick here before we start our 6 o'clock newscast for a quick little recap on social media since we didn't actually have a 5 o'clock show. So let's go ahead and we're going to break down the forecast for this evening, on into the overnight, and eventually for the rest of this week, because we've got some records that are likely to fall by the wayside. So let's go ahead and let's break it all down as we take a look outside. That's our Zach Theater weather camera right there overlooking Lady Bird Lake. There could be quite a few paddleboarders out there today because right now temperatures are in those low to mid 70s pretty much area wide. So it's a really, really nice afternoon, and a southerly component of the wind, a little bit breezy at times, is going to be our main culprit. Now, as we go hour by hour, eventually we're going to get down only to around the upper 40s and lower 50s with that southerly flow in place, but we're going to warm right back up and maybe even get even warmer for tomorrow. In fact, some areas could even get to the lower 80s by the time we get to this time tomorrow afternoon, but it's mostly going to be upper 70s for most of the rest of Central Texas. Now, the question a lot of y'all have is, with this sunshine, is BK Bob going to see his shadow for Groundhog Day? And the answer to that question we think is going to be yes. I have that favored. I'd say minus 142 is going to be the favorite on that for BK Bob seeing his shadow. And the clear 3-point underdog is definitely going to be him not seeing it. But this would result in 3 more weeks of winter, or 6 more weeks of winter, I should say. The catch with that is it's not going to feel like winter for this upcoming week, and I'll talk more about that in a bit. But for tomorrow, we could have winds getting around 5 to 10 miles an hour, mainly again coming out of the south. We could have gusts getting close to 20 miles an hour as well. So some slight breezes throughout the course of the early afternoon, maybe even the late afternoon for tomorrow as well. Your altitude forecast for tomorrow, we expect Cedar to be low and Mold to be high. And you can find this each and every day on kview.com as well as that KView app. So all weekend long, we're going to have perfect days like what we have today. Same story for tomorrow. Comfortable temperatures, comfortable humidity levels as well. So enjoy yourselves, have fun. But if you're wearing shorts, and this is something a lot of us should always do, but put some lotion on, especially put some lotion on your legs. I mean, because no one wants to see ashy legs and ashy knees and all that. Like, it's just not cute. But over the next few days, we are going to warm up quite nicely. In fact, we're going to get around that 80-degree mark, especially as we head into Monday. Monday's record high is 81, and there are outside chances, especially as we head into Wednesday and then eventually Thursday through Saturday, where we could actually see more of those records falling. So again, record is on Monday at around 81 degrees, but then we're going to warm up quite nicely as we head into Friday and Saturday. Look at Friday's high, 84. Look at Saturday's high, 86. I mean, that does not even feel remotely close to February. That is still 6 to 7 days out, but I do want to mention that that's going to feel more like maybe even late April, maybe even early May, as opposed to the beginning of February and the day before the Super Bowl. So by and large, it is going to be quite an interesting next few days across Central Texas. So what I'm really going to say here is that it is going to be very warm and a very not so wet next few days, especially after this past week where we got pretty disgusting looking fog, storms move through. Even the middle of January, about almost a couple of weeks ago, we had that snow event here in Central Texas, as well as that crazy snow event along the Gulf Coast. But we're not expecting any of that. We're going to warm up quite nicely. It kind of taps into the bipolar, sometimes nature of Texas winters. One day you've got very cold conditions, but then there's another period where, like what we're going to see over the next 7 days, where we're going to be nice and warm, and a lot of that southerly flow is going to come in. And a keynote thing I've noticed is that there's a front, a bit of an Arctic front, that's going to pretty much stall out over central portions of Texas. And it's going to be that front's still going to be well to our north. So that's what's going to keep us nice and warm over these next few days, is because we're going to get that southerly flow out ahead of that front, which might eventually slide through as we head into next Sunday and then eventually on into early the following Monday, the day after the Super Bowl. And there could be a little cool pattern that could follow from there. But there are a couple things I do want to go ahead and show y'all real quick. And that is our precipitation and temperature outlooks for the month of February. And for that, we're going to go back to the wall here. And I'm going to show y'all the February precipitation outlook. And it does show most of us could have around average precipitation. Now, on average, Camp Mabry is 3/4 of an inch drier than January on average. So not much rain could be in the forecast for us this month. Maybe even less so in some western sections of the hill country where they have slightly likelihoods of below average precip. Now let me show you the temperatures. Now this is pretty consistent with a La Nina pattern with warmer temperatures and drier precipitation chances, but that's not to say we won't have a cold snap. That's not to say we won't have any potential for winter weather, but that says that the potential for a cold snap and winter weather is more unlikely than what it would normally be because of the warmer than average temperatures. So those are a couple of things I wanted to go ahead and show y'all real quick while we had a little bit of time before we can get going with the 6 o'clock show. Let's see if anyone had any real questions. So let's see if anyone has any questions right now. It doesn't look like anyone's really got any questions, really. So hopefully everybody's enjoyed their Saturday. I think it's not a lot of y'all on here today. I think it's because everybody's outside enjoying themselves. They're not really worried about what's going on here or anything like that. But I just thought I'd say something real quick before our 6 o'clock newscast so that we can go into a little more detail about what everything's going to be happening here in Central Texas over the next few days. I really honestly think that we are going to be nice and dry these next few days. There could be an isolated shower or storm chance maybe on Tuesday and then eventually on Friday, but by and large, not really much going on. So just want to take a moment and say thank y'all so much for joining us this evening. If there are no more questions, I'm going to see each of y'all at 6 on KVUE News for all the latest on your news and weather headlines. Honestly, this has been one of the crazier news weeks I've seen in a minute. So you're going to want to tune into KVUE for all the latest on that.